You awaken as the sun begins to rise. You wake in a cold sweat. You remember every detail of the nightmare as though it had really happened to you. There's something strange about this bush. Maybe it's the eyes. Oh, forget it. It's probably just an ordinary, everyday bush with blood-red berries and tentacle-like branches. You are somewhere in the forest far south of town. This area looks much like the rest of the woods, if perhaps a bit bushier. That's not a great idea. The bush would start with the hand you offer it, then eat the rest of you as well. You'll have to get a little closer. The bush seems to be hard of hearing. You grab a handful of rocks. You grab a handful. You've managed to knock a branch with some berries loose from the bush. You've knocked a berry-laden branch loose from the bush. We hope you're very proud of that. You strip the berries from the loose branch and carefully store them in a pocket in your backpack. They're very poisonous, you know. You better save them for someone who can appreciate their finer points.
Look, he is safely locked away. We should wait a bit to see if the gravedigger shows up.
Well, there you go. Igor's missing. That ties it. The little weasel never goes anywhere, for crying out loud.
Yeah, except when he's with that wacko, crazy, cuckoo doctor.
Why else would that gypsy be so darn close to town? He got a taste for meat.
It was a full moon outside last night, I'm telling ya.
Yeah, somebody's going to jail. Justice must be served, even for that little gravedigger.
Justice? We don't even know if a crime has really been committed. Just relax, go home or to the inn. The gypsy goes nowhere. We can decide what to do later.
But we...
Later, go home.
It looks pretty much as you'd expect. You say, "Hello," to the group.
Ah, the stranger. Have you heard that Igor was killed and we...
Will you stop saying that? We only know that Igor is missing.
But we already have Igor's murderer.
We have a gypsy, that is all.
But you know that all gypsies are werewolves.
I do not know that, and neither do any of you. If you would stop listening to old wives' tales and start thinking, you'd realize only that the gravedigger is missing, and all else is in your imaginations.
Hold it, Slick. Don't you know what a werewolf is? A man who turns into a wolf.
Yeah, when he's sunbathing at night, you know? It's the full moon that does it.
Listen, the werewolf eats children, which don't make him all bad.
Igor was not a child.
Hey, Yuri's daughter was eaten by one, huh?
No one knows what happened to Tanya. You cannot say she was eaten.
What else could have happened? I mean, we have the werewolf that did...
It'll break out of your little trick-or-treat jail and eat us all.
Hans, not one word about Tanya eaten by a werewolf will you make to Yuri. He and Bella have been hurt too deeply. As you are a man, do not open the wounds again.
Well, I'll tell you what, you suit yourself, pal. But at least they can be avenged now upon the werewolf! The gravedigger's missing!
I mean, we looked everywhere. He's usually under my wife's bed.
We even tried to talk to that quack Dr. Cranium.
That ridiculous doorbell!
At first, we thought he might be lost.
Then we found the gypsy.
The gypsy did it. He toasted Igor.
Yeah, and then he ate him. Check his breath. It smells like Igor.
Poor Igor.
I'm telling you, gypsies are werewolves.
Yeah, gypsies are all tramps and thieves.
Gypsies cannot be trusted.
I think we're fixing to have one less gypsy around here.
A gypsy was found right outside the town gates. We brought him here for questioning.
Why don't you have a bake sale, pal, and send away for a clue? Everyone knows that gypsies are werewolves.
Yeah, little Igor was somebody's Big Mac, and you want us to just go home?
That werewolf is a danger to us all. Think of our families and our mistresses.
Do you think I would endanger the town by allowing him to escape? The gypsy is securely locked up. He will not get away. Werewolves are mere peasant tales.
You want to see a peasant tale, pal? Look, we all know that werewolves are real.
Yeah, I saw the movie. They turn into wolves by the full moon.
They are harmed only by silver in wolf form.
They're allergic to wolfsbane.
There's a poem about it, okay? Even a man who's pure in heart.
And says his prayers by night.
Enough! Enough! It is all hearsay and speculation.
May become a wolf when the wolfbane blooms.
Oh, that's beautiful. And the autumn moon is bright.
Or so the charming legend says.
I am trying to do the job to which I was appointed. I am trying to make certain that justice...
Justice? Justice schmustice, Einstein. Was it justice that little Igor was murdered and wound up the blue plate special?
Yeah, the murderer was caught, and I want to hit him. Let the punishment begin.
Right. Then we'll have justice.
Am I the Burgomaster or am I not? I have said all that there is to be said about this subject. The gravedigger was missing last night.
And we matriculated on down to the cemetery to search, see?
Yeah, but we didn't have far to go. Just outside town, we caught ourselves a werewolf.
Yeah, but we found no trace of poor old Igor.
Enough! Igor is missing. We do not know what happened to him. It is none of your...
Perfect. The gravedigger Igor's been killed.
And we captured a werewolf!
Listen, I'm telling you, Igor's death must be avenged.
Go home. Just go home, all of you. You do not know the truth yet.
We're gonna make the little gypsy tell the truth, don't you worry.
Yeah, let's see how much lying he does after we take his teeth out by hand!
Dimitri, dude, listen,
No, you listen, all of you. There is nothing to be done until we know all the facts. Now go home and let me do my job, please.
You ask if you can help in the investigation. After all, you are a bona fide hero.
We already have the murderer.
We ourselves have solved this.
we are the heroes here.
Look, if you can prove one way or another what happened to Igor, I would be glad of it. I do not like blaming someone for a crime that may not even have been committed. The gravedigger is missing, and the gypsy just happened to be near the front gate when we were searching for Igor. He is suspected of being a werewolf and of having eaten Igor. Come to look at the prisoner, or just to talk some more? It will take more than talk to set the gypsy free. You can talk to the gypsy yourself. He hasn't said much to anyone. Sometimes I think Mordavia is cursed. We live with so much real and present danger that we start to imagine things and overreact. Just because some folks find a gypsy when Igor is missing, they blame the gypsy. Now everyone in town thinks the gypsy is a raving werewolf out to eat us all. They act like frightened fools. I'm not certain what to do. I don't think that the gypsy had anything to do with Igor, but unless there is some real proof, the gypsy will burn. I can't leave the gypsy here by himself, yet someone needs to find out about Igor. Everyone else in town just assumes the gypsy is guilty. Sometimes I think Igor is missing, and the townspeople seem sure that this gypsy is the cause. I am not so sure myself, but there's very little I can do until Igor is found.
In such a small village, the gypsy ignores you. You tell the gypsy that you will do whatever you can to help prove his innocence and see his release. The gypsy doesn't seem to believe you.
Well then, go do something instead of standing around talking with everyone.
The gypsy looks at you with disdain. The gypsy spits in your general direction. The gypsy glares at you in sullen silence.
If you really are a hero, why don't you do something about this situation? Why? Oh, never mind, just go. It is possible that the gravedigger is still alive. If you are going wandering outside of town, please watch for him. Calm down, everyone. Give me a little more time.
Yeah, well, that's all well and good, Gandhi, but we have waited long enough.
Yeah, he's right. I got first dibs. That gypsy's gonna pay.
That gypsy's gonna make Joan of Arc look like a piker. He's gonna burn at the stake.
Yes, yes. If I cannot find out what happened to Igor before tomorrow, you shall have your burning.